Good day and greetings from Pretoria, South Africa. My name is Dr. Charles Cotter. I'm the Learning Navigator, the Change Management and Leadership in a Crisis online learning program, part of the e-learning series. This is an on-demand learning program and comprises of 6 modules. Each of the registered learners will receive a SlideShare presentation per module, and then also a detailed workbook which comprises the content, but also a series of learning activities, which I'll expect you to complete at the end of each of these modules. I think this is probably the best way of continuing the engagement and also to stimulate discussion between the Learning Navigator and the registered learners. As a form of introduction, I'd like to give you a quick overview of my professional pedigree. Essentially, I've been in the field of education, training, and development for the last 19 years. Of those 19, 15 as an independent contractor. I've been very privileged to have worked for over 140 different companies, both in the public and private sector. And of course, this stretches across 18 different countries and 4 different continents. My area of subject matter expertise is strategic management, change management, and also strategic human resources management. So I'd like us to conclude this module by looking at outcome 3, and that again, similar to what we did with module 2, is to look at case study 2, which again you will find in workbook 4, and it's a 2-page case study. I could probably call it a caselet. So I'd like you to read through it to understand the scenario, and then similar to what we did with case study 1 with module 2 is then just to respond to 6 questions. I'll run through these 6 questions very shortly, but just to give you the context and the scenario, like I mentioned at the start of this video clip, Western Australia, a mining company. So the challenge was to implement a business improvement strategy and program. I think we spoke about some of the business improvement strategies, business process reengineering, the Kaizen, which is more incremental change. We've mentioned some of these models. So this is typically what the organization was confronted with. So some of the challenges from a change management perspective, a lot of diversity, huge challenge, diversity, but not just in terms of race and culture and the demographics of the workforce, but in terms of remoteness of location. So very decentralized gold mine with different operations, off-site operations, and of course this created this disconnect, and of course this was a challenge. And as you work through the case study, again, they did partner with a management consultant, an external change agent, and of course, there were certain solutions that were proposed. The performance characteristics of each site, so very decentralized, so another area of diversity, and also probably the biggest challenge that they were confronted with is that there were different subcultures, varying cultures that cut across the entire organization. And of course, this led to the initiation of the change management program. So I'd like you to extract the key change management learning principles from the case study, and specifically, like I said, 6 questions. Let's look at them. So first of all, again, it always starts with the need for change. What was the clearly identified need for change? Related to that, what were some of the challenges confronted by this gold mine in Australia? Then secondly, I'd like you to map out the change management process that was proposed by the consultant. They were called Enterprise IS. What are some of the change management goals and objectives? So remember, we said the genesis is always the vision. From the vision, it cascades down to your mission. From the mission, your strategic goals and objectives. So what were these goals and objectives? What were some of the change management tools that this collective team of internal and external change consultants implemented? You'll remember the ProSci, they gave us a whole host of different tools, everything from communication to resistance to change to coaching to training, etc. So from that, which of those tools were appropriate in this case study? What were some of the critical success factors, question 5, for the change management program? And then I'd like you to give an informed opinion as to whether you believe that given the information and this particular change management process map, do you anticipate that this change management process would be successful? Would it be effective? Would it be part of the rare breed of 30% of change management programs that indeed do achieve the change management objectives? And then, of course, similar to your response to all the questions up to this point, just give me a quick substantiation of your reasoning. Again, I don't think it would require more than 4 to 5 pages, just a quick write-up in responding to these questions. And again, similar to all the other learning activities, this is learning activity 11. We've moved through 11 learning activities in the 4 modules thus far, and we'll continue that with module 5 and 6, which will also then be solidified through the application and the integration, the transfer of learning to the actual environment. So at this point, I'd like to summarize. I'd like to give you a quick overview of what we've covered. You'll recall there are 3 learning outcomes to module 4. We started off by looking at some of the change management models, Kurt Lewis's model in particular, the unfreezing, the movement, and the refreezing. We looked at John Cotter's 8-step model. We looked at the 7-step change management model. And then we concluded by looking at the ProSci, which gives us a 3-phased model. And contained within the 3 phases, you'll find 8 process steps. So we looked at that. And then we also concluded this module by looking at case study number 2. And there are 6 questions related to case study number 2, which again, I think creates many challenges from a change management perspective. And I'd like you to unpack those challenges. So at this point, I'd like to wrap up and conclude module 4. Again, just with a word of best wishes for all the change management challenges as you embark on this change management process. Again, thank you for your active participation in this particular on-demand learning program. I look forward to continuing and concluding this program by looking at module 5 and 6, and I'll join you very shortly. This is your learning navigator, Dr. Charles Cotter, signing out, and best of luck, and I look forward to continuing with module 5 and 6.
This is Charles Cotter signing out. I'd like to thank you for watching the video clip, Change Management and Leadership in a Crisis online learning program. Please be on the lookout for subsequent uploads on my YouTube learning channel of the other modules. Also, please have a look at the chat box section. You'll see in the comment section. If you'd like to access a copy of the workbook in PDF format, I'll gladly email that to you for this specific module, but also the other modules of the various video clips. I'd also like to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please press the notification bell to be alerted of the subsequent uploads of the other modules, and also like to encourage you to reach out and contact me. My contact details and social media presence will be provided on the screen very shortly, so I'd encourage you to reach out, and of course I would welcome any sort of communication or feedback regarding this video clip or any other learning content on my YouTube learning channel. Thank you. I appreciate your ongoing interest and active social media support. Thank you. You keep well. Bye-bye.